Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is, what is the imprint that you have on others? What is it about you that people just can't forget about you? What makes you unforgettable? I'm doing a lighter reading because after the higher self of the father on Friday, that was very heavy. So I thought I would come back with a lighter reading before we get into the mother's one, because that's probably going to be a bit heavy in cases as well. So I wanted to supply you guys with a lighter hearted reading, as well as it's easier for me to channel lighter hearted as well, to kind of preserve my energy. So that's what we're doing today. So take a look at the 4 piles in front of you. Pile number 1 is the green calcite. Pile number 2 is the citrine. Pile number 3 is the blue calcite. And pile number 4 is the red jasper. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps, as always, are going to be in the description box, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your readings. So today we are taking a look at what is the imprint that you leave on people. Why are you so unforgettable to people? So you guys chose the green calcite. I'm going to pop that up here and we are going to get straight in. And as always, I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll make our way onto the oracle cards. So spirit guides, can you tap me into the collective of pile number 1? Straight away, I was literally just shown Harry Potter. You know this scene when Harry's aunt comes over and she's a bit of a bitch and she's mean to him and she's saying all mean things to him, and like he doesn't even do anything. I think he just like points at her or something, and then she just kind of balloons into this like big balloon and she starts floating out the window. I literally just got shown that scene. Take it as you will. Maybe you've been watching Harry Potter, but there was just something about that. Maybe it'll correlate in a second into the reading, but I was literally just shown that when I tapped into your energy for whatever reason. So I'm interested to see why they show me that. So let's get in. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, please. What is it about pile number 1 that is so unique? What is it that people find so unique? What is the imprint that pile number 1 leave on people? What is the imprint that pile number 1 leave on people? You know what they're saying about that Harry Potter reference, pile 1, is that you are very divinely protected. And I feel like anyone that has, because I'm hearing you're quite unique, and I'm hearing that anytime anyone has tried to like tear you down or pull you down, like you've had the last laugh. And that's something that I'm tapping into with you guys, pile 1. It's like, when you actually look at Harry Potter, if you haven't watched it, I'll just explain a little bit. He, you know, the family that he was like raised in, they kind of like bullied him and kind of like cast him out. They were really mean to him because he was different, because he was like a wizard, right? And the mother didn't like him. You know, the woman that was looking after him, she didn't like him. And there was a lot of bitterness and jealousy, and just, they really just kind of cast him aside. End of the day, Harry Potter ended up having the last laugh. You know what I mean? He was very talented. He was the chosen one. You know what I mean? He was someone that achieved a lot in his life, and he had like such courage and like a beautiful heart. In the end, he had the last laugh. And it's like, there's something like that about you where I don't know whether you've dealt with a lot of people that have tried to like take you out your power, tried to like disconnect you to your own uniqueness, felt better when you were falling in line instead of shining out. But like, there's this feeling, the imprint that you have on people is, 1, not to judge a book by its cover, but 2, to like think twice before saying something or have an opinion of something, because I'm being told you're like a diamond in the rough. Like, you know, you may have not had a lot growing up, but you may have just always looked like someone maybe on the outside that was a lone wolf or didn't kind of like fit into like society's norms. But there's something like about you, like there's something that you did that was different, that people may have like ostracized you for, or just looked at like, oh, I don't understand it, I don't get it, like that just doesn't make sense. That's kind of like a power for you. And I feel like in this lifetime, or even now, even tapping in, you're really like rising with that power. And I feel like other people now are like, oh wow, this person's actually quite magical, this person's actually, you know, they actually have a lot of talents. There's something about that, and that could be to anything. You could be someone that was like always was interested in like psychology growing up, and you were always really interested in that and understanding why people did what they did and looking deeply into that. And then people around you may have just been like, it's not that deep, and just thought, why does that person think so deeply? Why is that person not interested in doing these things? Why would they rather be reading books or something like that? But then it's like you go so far then with that, you become such an expert at that because that's part of you, that's something you were supposed to do in this lifetime. And then people are looking like, oh wow, that person was really onto something, I shouldn't have judged that person so soon. So there's a feeling like that about you, pile number one. And you can apply that to anything, whether it's spiritual gifts or just a talent that you have or something that you do that is unique. There's an energy of that, like, actually that person's really cool, that person's actually a bit of a muse for me now, you know? There's something about that. And people that have talked down on your name, I feel are learning. I'm hearing the Drake lyric, the dirt that they threw on my name turned to soil and I grew about it. So it's like, you can say these things about me, I'm going to grow regardless. Like, I'm going to do that. That's just in my nature. There's something about that, about a lot of people like, oh, I got this person wrong. That they really want me to reference straight away. That's quite a big impact, more than you know, on people, especially people from your past, if they're keeping up with what you're doing, and I do feel that they are. Pile number one. Ooh, look at that jumping out. We have the King of Wands. I'm hoping I can see in the camera. I've got black shades on. So I'm dressed like the Blues Brothers right now, because the ring light's quite heavy and it's been giving me a bit of a migraine. So if a card looks like that, I mean to put it in the screen. It's just everything's very dark, the way I'm looking at it right now with these shades. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. What is it that is unique about pile number one? What is it that's unforgettable about pile number one? Your presence and aura in general, I'm being told. Your outlook on life, especially with this King of Wands here, like, you have these very grand ideas, and I feel like people are very in awe of that. And again, it's tying in with the sense that you may have talked like a big game quite young, and people were like, oh, that person's never gonna reach that milestone, that person's never gonna, you know, do that, that dream's way too big. And then it's like they're seeing you out here doing it, and they're like, oh my god, they're actually doing it. Like, you're one of those people that has really big dreams, and I feel like you look at life in such a bright way, and I feel like that's an impact that you have on people. Like, when you're in people's lives, you are a ray of sunshine. You have this spark of like fire that I feel like almost whips people into gear in a sense. Like, I feel like when you get in relationships or you're talking to people or you're with friends, it's like you're that one person that people look to for inspiration, because you're always looking at things like from a high perspective. You're always very optimistic, you know. You may be very Jupiter ruled, a lot of Sagittarius. There's such like optimism with the way that you look at life, and there's this feeling of I can achieve anything, or I can bring anything into fruition, or just like, I want that crown, I'm going to get it. There's a feeling about that, and it's like you almost drive people to do good within their own lives too without even realizing it. And for some people that can make them insecure and then want to like target that because it's making them insecure about what they may be settling for in their life. But then other people like are really motivated by you. I feel like you'd be a very good like motivational speaker or something like that. You just have such a bright energy. You're like a firecracker, you're like a comment, and when you're in people's lives, it's never dull. You kind of lighten people's eyes up, and I feel like the things you speak about, the things that you talk about, I'm being told that like you make people think outside the box. You make people see things from a higher perspective. It's like, wow, like, why, you know, I'm settling for this life, and, you know, maybe I am settling for this job, or I am settling for this situation. When this person's like reaching for the stars, maybe I could do that too. So there's a feeling like that. You're very motivating to the people around you. Pile number one. Pile number one, why are they unforgettable, spirit guides? Why is pile number one unforgettable? What imprint? Where's that card gone? I almost fell on my chair then. We have the King of Cups. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. There's also something about you being very emotionally intelligent. I feel like you're not the type of person to go off on someone for no reason, to argue with someone for no reason. And it's not out of, oh, I'm pussyfooting around somebody and I don't want to start confrontation. It's just this energy of like, you see the bigger picture, you see beyond. What's the point in arguing of this? Because it's just two opinions clashing when both opinions can coincide. There's a lot of emotional intelligence within you. I feel like you're someone that Again, it's added to that sense of seeing the bigger picture, understanding something from a higher perspective. And I feel like you're someone that family members and friends go to like get their get those words of wisdom. There's something about the way you speak, the things you say, that those words of wisdom that you speak out, that energy, I'm being told, it's like that really has an imprint on people. That really speaks to people. People, like, you could say a quote and then 3 years down the line, you've forgotten that who you said that quote to. You even forgotten saying the quote. However, this person may have even got it tattooed on them or like written in their notes to remind themselves on, or they live their life by that quote. Now, there's something about your words leaving an imprint on people. And I feel like you're aware of this, even in the sense that you choose light. I'm being shown that you choose light, you choose love. But I'm being told when someone gets you angry, and if you are to act out of your shadow side, you can get nasty at times. And I'm being told, like, you know the weight of your words. I feel like you're someone, because you're very empathic, because you're very intuitive, I feel like you can read people very well. So in the same way that you can tell people, you know, you can big people up, you can see what they need to kind of motivate them, and you do that for a lot of people. If somebody was to really take you there, and I don't feel you get taken there a lot, but if someone was to, I feel like you could do the same amount of impact even with negative words. Like, you could maybe do some damage with negative words, because it's like, you know, their insecurities, you can feel them out, you can see where they're upset and angry, you can see that, and you have that same energy where you'd be able to like really impact people with your words. And I feel like you may be aware of this. I feel like that's why you choose to see things from a higher vibration. But I feel like even sometimes when you're speaking in regards to the light, when you're speaking in regards to lifting people up, some people will naturally take that as negative anyway, because it's like they're projecting onto you their insecurities. It's like you're hitting, your light's casting their shadows, and it's like they're trying to like trigger you, or they're trying to project onto you to pull on some of your energy to take you out of that light. I feel like you deal with that. I feel like you deal with a lot of emotional like vampires sometimes. But I feel like you really do have a lot of people thinking. There's something so emotionally intelligent about you. I feel like you're very in depth. I feel like when anybody needs like help or guidance, or just like needs someone to like lift them up, I feel like you're that person. And I feel like you're that person for a lot of people. And I feel like when people are no longer in your life, they still think back to you, or they may still draw from you for inspiration. You may find old friends, old lovers, they may like click up on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, whatever it is that you have, to kind of like, you know, kind of get that spark again. There's this feeling of you being like this kind of powerhouse for that. I'm being told. Let's pull some more. Pile 1, please, Spirit Guides. What impact does pile number 1 had on people? What is so unforgettable about pile number 1? Yeah, we have the High Priestess. So you guys, this may be my spiritual pile. Like I was saying, there's something very unique and healing about you. We can take that to spirituality. With this energy here, I feel like when you help people, when you lift up people, not only are you picking up on their energies and intuitively reading them, but I do feel you have a very gifted throat chakra, and I do feel that you do channel a lot of wisdom without even realizing it. I'm being told that you may see yourself as someone from the stars, because I literally just shared from the stars. So you may be connected to being a starseed, but there is this energy of you bringing like, where I feel your soul resides, I feel like there's a lot of love. I feel like you move with your heart in this lifetime. You literally chose the green calcite for the heart chakra. And I just feel like you being touched to that universal energy of love, I feel like that lives within you and just doesn't really burn out. And I feel like you're always naturally tuned into other people and tuned into being able to channel people, because your heart's very pure, because you've kind of cleared the way for your heart to shine like that, maybe with some deep inner work or shadow work. And because of that, it's like you're able to just like have a conversation with someone, but it's like you're saying something and you're just channeling words, and sometimes you have no idea the weight that you have on people when you have these conversations. You may walk away thinking, oh, I was just there for that person, when in that time period you were energetically holding space. In that time period, your words were literally solidifying their energies and bringing them peace, and you were even channeling messages, maybe even from their spirit guides, without even realizing it, because you're very in tune like that. And I see that growing as time goes on. I see you getting really, really connected to your psychic gifts as time goes on. But there is this energy of like, there's this flowing energy that's coming through the heart, and I feel like you speak and you channel a lot of guidance, and you don't even realize you're doing it. Sometimes it just comes out your mouth. That's what I'm being told. So that's a big impact that you have on people, pile number 1. Pile number 1, please. pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. What is the impact that pile number one have on people? What is the impact that pile number one have on people? Yeah, we literally have judgment. You very much walk with spirit. And the thing is, when you're channeling like that, and to channel in general, you have to be at a certain frequency to be able to channel. You have to be at a certain energy to be able to bring the weight of those words down and feel them and deliver them properly. And I feel like you guys naturally are quite high vibrational in your natural state. And I feel because of that, and because you are channeling quite often, I feel like that's why a lot of people are drawn to you. A lot of people like see you as having this kind of like golden aura. And I feel like at times you've drawn in people that were broken birds because they were being drawn to that kind of like golden fountain of like healing energy. But at times, I feel at times as well, you may have people try and like mimic you and copy you. It's like, okay, I'm really drawn to this person. Is it their style? Is it, you know, this? Is it that? And they're like, okay, well, that person's, you know, looking flawless on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And they wore that orange top. Let me go get that orange top. And then they'll go purchase it and buy it and expect to feel like you and thrive like you. But it's like, it was never the orange top. It was you in general. It was just that aura that you were giving out. And then people kind of get annoyed when they can't quite mimic your sauce. You understand what I mean? They can't mimic it. So it's just like, oh, and instead of believing in that, oh, and they may get triggered and just try and mimic you a lot, but it just doesn't fit. I do see that happens with you because you're very unique in the way that you look at life. It almost feels like you're rewired differently, and you may feel like that at times. But to other people, it's just you're such a light. You like literally, people will look at you. I'm literally being shown somebody either listening to you or like just maybe watching you like walk somewhere in a certain outfit, or just like maybe watching you on TikTok, words you say. There's something about what you speak, and somebody just feeling like, oh wow, like that's really empowered me, like oh my god, like I just feel like this love within me, like oh my god, I see something in a different perspective now because of that person. Let me go and, you know what I mean, try it out. And it's almost like your words just, they hold a lot of weight, they hold a lot of like gold within them. And I feel like a lot of the things that I'm saying, sometimes you don't even realize it. You don't realize the extent of your impact. You may have even come into this reading like, I don't think I'm unforgettable, but believe me, like there's a lot of people do think of you like that. And it's hard to kind of, I'm being told, say anything negative about you. So sometimes people may just try and project. So let's pull 3 more cards. Just get a little bit deeper before I get onto the oracle cards. So pile number 1. If you hear a vacuum, I have no idea where it's coming from. Somewhere outside. It's either a vacuum or drilling. So apologies if you hear that. Pile number 1, please, spirit guys. What is so unforgettable about pile number 1? It's funny because you're so soft, yet your energy is so loud. There's something about your delivery being so soft, or just your presence in general, your energy in general. It's so soft, but because it's so soft and it feels very pure, it's loud. Because in this life, a lot of people are walking around disconnected to themselves spiritually. They'll be disconnected to their inner child. They're walking around as a wounded inner child, and they're very much being led by ego or power. And then with you coming in, and I feel like you're so soft with it, with such a beautiful heart, such a radiant energy, such a beautiful energy. It's like water running down a stream. You know what I mean? It almost feels like fairy-like. It's very light. I feel like people, it has such an impact on people. It has such a heavy impact on people because people are disconnected to those parts of themselves. Do you understand what I mean? So that's something that's coming through. Pile number, you have either a really strong heart chakra in the sense that I'm being shown a light pink. So again, that's been that's taking me to the higher heart chakra and just this abundance of love. But then I'm also being told, like, I do feel like you have those colors in your aura anyway, or you may just like naturally be drawn to wearing those colors, like pastel pinks, light pinks, nudes. You know, you may have like an aesthetic of that on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the case. There's something about that. You may choose to wear those colors. I'm being told, like, color palette wise, whatever gender, I'm being told light pinks, light blues, pastel-y colors really, really suit you and give off that energy. And I'm being told you do have like a lot of like Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio within your energy as well. I'm also being shown like a lot of Venusian energy, so like Libra, Taurus, because I'm being told you're very naturally pretty. This is what they said. You're naturally pretty or naturally handsome in a celestial way. So I don't know what that means. I don't know whether they're referencing you're very siren-like, very mermaid-like, whether you're very just like fairy-like in nature, or just you have this kind of like glow around you that's very celestial. There's an energy of that in regards to how you come across. Alien-y, but not in the sense of like, it's very soft. I hope that's making sense. Pile number 1, please spirit guides, pile number 1. What impact does pile number 1 have on people? What impact does pile number 1 have on people? We have the 4 of Wands. What impact does pile number 1 have on people, please spirit guides? We have the 5 of Cups. I'm just here, when I pop the 5 of Cups down, I hear Jojo, Too Little Too Late. That to me is almost referencing this energy, like, because you have that healing energy, and being told that people, when they're around you, or maybe people that were around you in the past, they almost didn't know what to do with it. How do I match this energy? Because there's this energy of, because you are channeling a lot, you are in that vibration, when people that hadn't necessarily done a lot of inner work were stepping towards you and you had, it was like naturally being around you, their own energy started to phoenix to kind of be on your level, and they almost couldn't handle it. It was, again, like I was saying, your light was shining on their triggers, and it would like scare them, and then they'd like start feeling this energy of needing to purge, and they had no intention of doing that. So then they'd kind of like run away, and they may have not treated you the best, even like friendships. But I'm being told like people grow and people evolve, and I feel like while you're out here in this high priestess energy, doing what it is, speaking your truth, like whatever it is that you do for a career, or just like your life in general, living your best life, people are seeing you evolve even more. And as they're growing into themselves and they're realizing right from wrong, and they're realizing, and maybe they're choosing to work on their wounds, then they're looking at you later on then and going, oh my god, like that person was really right, that person was right. Or maybe they don't want to tell you, you know what I mean, oh that person was right, but there's that feeling of it like, oh wow, like that person knew what they were talking about. Or when that trigger was coming up and I was projecting, you know what I mean? And they were responding to me, like they were actually, you know, helping me. That was actually guidance. Them saying those things, it was triggering me, but they were actually helping me. Or that energy I was feeling, it was actually me purging something out. And I feel like little too late, people have realized in your life, or will realize in your life, it's too little too late wanting to come back later on, because you very much are a wanderer, very much move on and ascend a lot, because I feel like you rebirth a lot, you shift a lot, you're always alchemizing. So with the 5 of Cups, that's what I'm being told with JoJo's Too Little Too Late. It's like, oh, now I realize, but this person's no longer here, they're somewhere else, they've crossed that mountain, now they're somewhere else. And it's like, oh, you know, apologies for the noise, guys. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1. Pile number 1, what is it about pile number 1? What imprint do they leave? A lot of people have left your energy, or you're either coming into a time now, you're already in this phase and have been for some while, or you're going to be stepping into a time where people are going to feel like, oh wow, like I really shouldn't have treated that person like that. Or do you know what? That person's actually quite nice and quite sweet. I shouldn't have done that. Or I was really ridiculing that person for wearing that, but now it's in trend and everyone's wearing it. Or I really ridiculed that person for practicing that, you know what I mean, or learning that, or going to school for that, or college for that. And actually that's really intelligent of them to be doing, like the amount of work that they put into it. Like wow, I'm actually, you know, I've actually got respect here, like mad respect. There's an energy of that, like I spoke too soon, or do you know what, I shouldn't have judged a book by its cover, I shouldn't have done that. That person was actually quite right on the money, you know. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. What is it about pile number 1 that is so unforgettable? What is it about pile number 1? What imprint does pile number 1 leave on people? Something about your smile. You have a very lovely smile. 2 of Pentacles, and the back of the deck we have Temperance. I'm being told as well, like a lot of people maybe that were in your past, because they keep referencing a lot of people from your past maybe having an eye on you, maybe people that you grew up with, but there's almost this energy of like, oh my god, that noise is really loud. I might go investigate after this, see what's going on. But what I'm being told is, a lot of the people maybe you grew up with, a lot of the people maybe you had connections with in the past, they were very like, they took a lot of their pleasures and a lot of you know, instances in life that like excited them, hobbies, whatever the case, their interests, they took their happiness and their validation like externally. What can somebody else do for me? What can somebody, you know, how can I make myself happy? Okay, well, I need to be in a relationship, or I need to have this job, or I need to have this and that, right? And I feel like you have always found your happiness and found that, you know, optimism for life internally. And I feel like what you have, this optimism of life, this love for life, this feeling of I can reach whatever I need to reach, and having that happy-go-lucky energy, you found that within, and you've always had that within. There's no external searching for it. Maybe at times there were, you know, as you were finding your way, but I feel like you've always had that within. It's always been within you. You've never needed much to be happy. You know what I mean? You've never needed that expensive car or that expensive phone to be happy. Like, you're just happy being with people in the present. You're just happy being out in nature. And I feel like a lot of people from your past, there's this energy of them finding happiness externally. I've got to have this, and this to show. And then they're getting all of these things and they're expecting to feel how you feel naturally. And it's still not making them feel that way. And they're like, hang on a minute, this person, you know, may be single right now and I'm in a relationship, so I'm supposed to be feeling like them. Whereas they're out here single, I'm in a relationship, and I'm not very happy because I've settled here and that person isn't settling at all. Maybe they were onto something there, or, you know, even if it's not like, you know, in the sense of relationship, it could be like a job. You know what I mean? You could have worked somewhere with other co-workers, and you said, right, I'm leaving because I'm going to start this business, or I'm going to pursue my hobby as my main time career, or I'm going to take on a new, you know, I'm going to go travel the world, or whatever the case. And they see you out there thriving and they're like, oh, wait a minute, that person's really onto something. That's probably why they're so happy-go-lucky. So there's a lot of aha moments, and I think that's why they show me the Harry Potter scene of Aunt Petunia being mean to like Harry, and then she kind of like blows up, because it's kind of like there's a lot of regrets in regards to people from your past and the impact that you've had, because it's like, actually, they were kind of right all along, and now I feel a bit stupid. You know what I mean? There's a feeling of that. Or some people may still be confused and be like, I still don't get why they're so happy and they're so happy-go-lucky. Like, I still don't get it. I still don't quite get it. You know what I mean? But I feel like people realize later on, or sometimes when it's too little too late, that, you know what I mean, you really were onto something. But I'm being told that that made way for those people to fall away, so the people that also share the same perspective of you can flow in, which I feel they will be. So let's pull the Mystic Martians deck first, because I haven't pulled this on my channel yet. Pile number one, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number one. Pile number one. What imprint does pile number one have on people? What is the impact that pile number one have on people? What is so unique about them? Why is pile number one unforgettable? What do we have here? Oh, we have Lyrans. Strength, courage, bravery. We have Lyrans here. I don't know why I'm being taken to Harry Potter references though, because when I think of the lion as well, I think of like Gryffindor. And Gryffindor people in Harry Potter were known for having like very like brave hearts, very pure hearts, and very courageous and brave. And I feel like you have those qualities. Maybe a fellow Gryffindor, that's why I'm being told to say it. But as well as like Lyran energy here, strength, courage, bravery, I just feel like you're someone that's always believed in yourself. You're someone that's, look at the way he's looking at all these patterns here. Like, you're someone that's always believed in yourself. You're someone that's always believed in like empowering yourself first and empowering other people. And I feel like you really want to see people thrive like that. And I feel like the people that get triggered by that, they haven't quite understood it. But I feel like part of your mission is to uplift others, to tap into your own frequency, radiate and shine that out to teach other people to do the same, which is very much a lot of people that feel like the Lyran Starseeds. That's a lot of their missions, and I feel like that's you guys. You have such a pure heart, and you want everybody to feel good, feel worthy, feel confident, and that's your energy. And you do make people feel like that, pile number one. You know, you are successful at making people feel like that. We also have tall whites, uncertainty, distrust, and guarded. That's what we have here. So what I'm being told here is, it's funny because you have such a beautiful heart, and I feel like you're very open with people, but at the same time I feel like people have hurt you. So there is this energy where you're someone that will feel out somebody before opening up. At least now with your boundaries. I feel like you may be like a water rising or like an earth rising, because there's just this energy of, I'm going to feel this energy out and see what your intentions are before I open up to you, because I feel like you know the weight of your energy. You do know that you have a healing energy, and I feel like you have drawn in people that have taken advantage, or you have drawn in people that have kind of taken your kindness for weakness in a way. So I feel like you're very careful who you open up to now, in regards to your boundaries. I don't feel like it's in any way negative, but I do feel that with that energy, with the tall whites coming through, maybe people from your past stepping towards you, or maybe people that knew you before when you were so open, you being a little bit more, I wouldn't say you're closed off at all. I would just say you have very healthy boundaries. I feel like maybe people around you that aren't used to it may take them, or have already taken them, as you shutting them out, which isn't the case. I just feel like you've had boundaries, and it's like they've taken you a certain one as, oh, you're cutting me away, which I don't see as the case at all, but that's what I'm being told there. So there is like an impact on people of like, okay, this person doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. This person's moved on. This person's cutting me out. There's an energy I'm feeling from people around you that may have felt like that. But I feel like it's something where like they either just weren't ascending with you, so you just kind of grow apart, or you did really put in a boundary. And there's something about this time period for you being very empowering, and people are looking at it like, oh, this person's really empowered right now. I don't even think they'd want to speak to me. I don't even think they'd want to talk to me. Like, they're in their element right now. They know exactly who they are. There's a feeling of that too, pile number 1. But with the 4 of Wands here and the 5 of Cups, it's like, I really do feel like you found yourself, and I feel like you find your happiness internally, your emotional happiness, you find that internally. Whereas I feel like people, you see these cups here, it's like they're looking for it outside of themselves, and they're seeing you finding it internally. It's like, oh, how the hell did they do that, you know? And I'm being told, like, if you know, you know. The right people are getting inspired. The wrong, you know, the people that aren't meant to be in your life are not in that frequency. They're just kind of like, do I need to change my car? Do I need to, you know, buy another house? Like, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? To reach that level of happiness. And it's like, for you, it's like I didn't have to do anything. I just had to look within. I just had to look out my window at, you know, Mother Gaia. And that outlook is what leaves an imprint on people. Pile number 1, one final card, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 1. What impact does pile number 1 have? What impact does pile number 1 have on other people? What impact does pile number 1 have on other people? We have Aries. So I was saying about fire energy. I feel like you're just seen as a go-getter, and I feel like you, like I was saying, you whip people into motion. It's just like your energy in itself, it's like a firecracker. You motivate people to get started on things in their own life. Like, you make people feel like that. You know, when Aries season comes along, we have like the Aries new moon, and it's just like everything feels fresh and new, and everyone's excited. You just have that oomph energy, you know what I mean? That firecracker energy. You naturally give that to people. I feel like that's your impact, pile 1. We also at the back of the deck have Luna. So again, it's like a lot of people get so confused and get their head in a spin trying to find out what it is that makes you tick, trying to find out what it is that brings you this much happiness, or has you looking at life through those eyes. And I feel like it's funny because people see you so happy-go-lucky, and I do feel like you have had to really work for that happiness. I feel like you have had to purge, you have had to look at your demons, you've had to do all of that, but it's like beyond that you still see the light, and people find that very mysterious. Like, how do they do that? How do they do that? It's like they know there's a depth, but they can't quite reach it, and that's an impact that you have on people. So pile 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what is it about you that is unforgettable? What impact do you have on others? You guys chose the citrine. I'm going to pop that up there, and we are going to get straight in. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we will move on to the oracle cards. So Spirit guides, can you tap me into the collective of pile number 2, please? Tap me into the collective of pile number 2. What is it about pile number 2 that is unforgettable? What is it about pile number 2 that is unforgettable? What is it about pile number 2? What impact does pile number 2 have on others? What impact is pile number 2? We have the 7 of Wands, and I literally just got shown the scene from High School Musical when CASHAPP walks through the halls and everyone just kind of like moves out the way for her. She's dressed a lot more dazzling than the people around her, and everyone's just like, oh, like everyone kind of wants to be her. Do you remember when it came out and everyone wanted to be CASHAPP? There's an energy about you like that, like main character energy. Move out the way. Even if you're not like that, there is just this energy that you give off, like this loud and proud energy. And when I say loud, I don't mean like loud speaking or being loud in public spaces. You may be the quietest person, but your energy is loud. Even when you try to blend in, even when you try to like look away and blend in, your energy is loud. And that is an impact that you have on people in general. I feel like you are I'm being told, like, sometimes you'll be out and you may see, like, people maybe having, like, the hump with you for no reason. Like, people just kind of not being very friendly to you for, like, no reason. Or you may have people, like, staring at you for a little bit too long. And I feel like that's because I do feel like you invoke a lot of jealousy sometimes. I feel like you invoke a lot of envy, because I'm hearing Nicki Minaj's song Envy. But I'm also being told that there's this mesmerizing energy that you have. You just exude it. It's because it's siren-like, but it's so bold. It feels, the only way I can describe it is main character energy. You give that off. I'm being shown like brats as well, because you know when they used to say like passion for fashion. So I don't know whether you dress very well, or you have this certain way of dressing that really, really suits you. There's something about maybe the way you dress or the way you do your hair that it like really suits you. It complements you so well, and I feel like people are drawn to that. But with the 7 of Wands, I just feel like sometimes you're misunderstood. Sometimes I feel like people will make or create a version of you in their head, and I do feel like people sometimes will look at you as competition or turn their nose up at you as competition when you literally weren't doing anything but existing. Like, I'm being shown little scenarios like that. I'm going to get deeper, but there is that energy. There's this energy that you give off. Sometimes people feel a little bit intimidated. You haven't done anything. It's just that human beings can feel energy even when they're not tapping into it. And I just feel like your bold presence in itself, when people have insecurities within them, they're feeling a little bit like, I need to have my back up here. I need to be on the defense here. When, you're literally sipping a pina colada in a bar. Like, I'm not, I'm no harm to anybody here. I'm just being me. There's a feeling of that. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, tap me into the collective of pile number 2. What impact do they have on others? What impact does pile number 2 have on others? Upright or upside down? Upright. Yeah, we literally have the devil here. It's like you bring out insecurities in people sometimes, but it's like you literally do not mean to at all. And then at the same time, I feel like you inspire people. You almost, like, your energy demands respect, I'm being told. There's almost this feeling of, like, you're very clever and intelligent as well. There's this feeling of, like, narcissists kind of run from you, because it's like you can spot them out. There's a feeling of that, because I feel like you're empathic, but whether you've always been very empowered as an empath and been able to read people and hold your own, or whether it's something you've had to learn over time, but the energy I'm picking up right now, it's almost this energy of, like, people that may look at someone with a light like yours and try and poke fun of it and try and pull at it. It's like they wouldn't dare. They know to step away. They know they've met their match. They know to, like, not even try you. There's this energy coming from you, like, try it, because I know who I am. You know what I mean? I know what I'm about. You can't tell me about me if I know me. There's a feeling of that coming through. So people naturally feel a bit, you know what I mean? If they are naturally going to come at you like that. Whereas I feel like other people really, like, enjoy you. I almost feel like you are like Marmite, in the sense that the people that are confident in themselves and want to stand next to you enjoy your presence, because it's like, I know who I am, you know who you are, this is great. And they draw inspiration from you, and there's a lot of love. Then you literally have people who don't feel worthy within themselves, don't feel like they can stand next to you, and then it's like the other side of the Marmite, where it's like, you know what, I don't like that person. You're like, oh, why don't you like that person? I don't know. The vibes I don't get. Like, I'm hearing somebody say the vibes. I just don't like the vibes. And do you know what I mean? You've been friendly, you've been smiling, like, they just pick that up within them, and there's a lot of projection put on you, pile. pile number 2 for you just doing your thing. Pile number, I feel like I'm hearing Neo's Miss Independent as well. I feel like you're very independent. Pile number 2. Oh my god. Yeah, we have the Queen of Wands. Am I gonna lay another 3 or am I gonna wait a second? I'll lay the other 3 and then get into it. Pile number 2. What impact did pile number 2 have on others? What impact did pile number 2 have on others? We have the 10 of Swords. We have the 4 of Pentacles. One more card, Spirit. What is the impact that pile number 2 have? Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, I've tapped into energy like this before in one of my other readings, and it felt like, I was saying it felt like high maintenance. Do you understand what I mean? Like, it felt high maintenance. It felt like, okay, this person knows their worth. This person knows who they are. And I feel like that impact in itself, I feel like people almost draw inspiration from you in that sense. Like, people see you walking and wearing something, it may seem a little bit risque, but it's like people will look at you doing it and then go, you know what, I'm going to wear that thing that I was scared to wear because that person looked really good wearing it, so I'm going to do it. Or, you know, that person really holds himself to a good standard, so I'm going to. Or like, even with friends, like I'm being told, like in connections with people, or, you know, you're talking to someone romantically, or you're in a relationship, like you're someone who, if someone disrespects you, you will just like cut off from it. It's like, you know your worth. You're not going to like try and play like fixer up or anything like that. If someone's really trying you, you are going to step away. And for a lot of people, it's actually hard to do that, but I feel like you know who you are. You're not going to let anyone take you out of that energy or disrespect you. And I feel like because of that, like your morals and the way you set standards in your relationships and your friendships, I feel like that has an impact on other people and the people around you, because they're like, you know what, I'm going to draw inspiration from that. They didn't allow that person to mess them about, so I'm not going to let this person who's been messing me about for years do it. I'm going to draw inspiration and I'm going to put a stop to it. Or there's this energy of, maybe you're someone that likes to treat yourself and look after yourself. Again, it's like that high maintenance energy of, I know what I'm worth. Like, you may take yourself on dates, you may buy yourself something nice, and it's like, you make sure that you have, you know, high value going into you, in the sense of like what makeup you're wearing, maybe, or clothes you're wearing, or even just like what you consume. Maybe you always make sure you have a nice phone, or you make sure that your house is nice and clean, or you make sure that you work out because you deserve to feel good and, you know, have like good mental health and your body to be healthy. And it's like, you setting those standards has a rippling effect on the people around you, because they're like, you know what, I should have those standards for me too. And I feel like that's an impact that you have on people. And I feel like you are a ride or die as well in regards to your connections. And I feel like there's something about the closest people to you knowing you're a ride or die and having a lot of love for you. Like, I'm really glad I have this person in my life. And anyone that would have messed that up, I do feel they look back at it like, wow, I really had something good there and I messed that up, but I know damn well they're not going to allow me back. There's a feeling of that. Like, you come through very like scorpionic in a way, where there's this intensity. And I feel like you have your close-knit circle, and it's like, I love the people around me. I pour into them. I treat everybody like, you know, they're kings and queens, but they pour that back into me. And if somebody's going to disrespect me, I'm just going to have to cut it loose, even if it hurts me, because it's like, I have too much love to give, and I've got too much light to give to have people just taking that freely. So there's a feeling of that. And because of that, I feel like people that would have tried to take from you and take advantage of you, that's why we've got this devil card here. It's almost like they may try and project on you then, oh, this person's a bad person, this person's stuck up. Like, I feel like you have a very healthy confidence, or at least you admit that, or maybe you're still working on it. But either way, people look at you as having a healthy confidence, but some people will project on it like, oh, I like someone a little bit more low maintenance, or, you know, they love themselves too much. And it's like, they're saying that in a sense where you're like detached and only care about you, whereas when I'm tapping into your energy, you have this very beautiful heart, and people that have been close to you know that you give a lot. You know what I mean? So there's a feeling of that. And there's something about you just like chasing your dreams as well, with the Queen of Wands here on the Temperance card. It's like, I don't know whether you have like a side hustle, or maybe you have like a career you really give your all to, but there's an energy of that, and you making sure you have the best for you and putting in that work, and you having that passion, and having that passion just for yourself. And reaching limits for yourself, setting goals and reaching them. I feel like people are really drawn to that. People are really it has an impact on people. Like, people are like, wow, okay, well, that person wants the best for themselves and they're doing that. Maybe I should put a little bit more effort here, or maybe I should, you know, start my side hobby that I wanted to do. That person's doing it, maybe I should. So you have a very good impact on people in regards to doing better for themselves. It's like you kind of set an example, if that makes sense. Very much so. And I feel like that's why you give that kind of like main character energy, because even when you look at like Sharpay in High School Musical, like everyone, she was always the villain, whereas I really liked her because I was like, okay, yeah, okay, she's got this villain act, but she dresses fabulous and her hair's always nice, and also she really cares about her career. And she really, really works hard for that. And she's always like performing, and she's pulling out all the stops to be the best at that. So really, I thought she was quite great. And I feel like you have that. It's like you're either very career focused or just very focused on you and being the best version of you. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing with these 3 lower cards, guys. It's like people feeling butthurt, or people just taking you loving yourself as like rejection on themselves. And I feel like because of that, I feel like you're naturally seen as like someone who is of high value. And I feel like people, it has this impact of like, if I want to stand next to that person, I've got to really work on myself, or I've got to be given to myself like that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be, you know, clutching straws. It's like, I've really got to be able to provide, so that is this equal give and take, because I know this person is not just going to settle for me if I'm just trying to take off them, or if I'm just trying to leech off them. You know what I mean? Because normally with an energy like yours, people will try and leech. And we've seen that in pile number 1. There was this energy of like people trying to like leech off them, or people trying to like take from them. And it's just like, with you guys, it's just like, people know even stepping before you, like, there's no chance of me even doing that. They wouldn't want anything to do with me. Like, you really do know your worth. And I feel like your boundaries set a healthy place for other people to create their own. I hope that's making sense. It's like trying to pull that confidence from within. I feel like you are a muse to people in that sense, of being the best version of you. And with the 8 of Swords at the back of the deck, I feel like maybe this wasn't always the case. I feel like this is maybe something that you transformed to step into. I feel like maybe in the past you were very giving, very loving, got it taken advantage of, and you set those boundaries and you alchemized in that energy. With the 8 of Swords, like, there's such an energy coming from you guys, like when I'm tapping into you, of like this resistance, especially down here. And with the 8 of Swords at the back of the deck, even with like the Devil card here, it's like I'm pouring into myself. I'm committing that to my goals. I'm, running towards my passions and being the best version of me. I'm showing up as the best version of me. But then there's this array of like energies around you, like almost having a problem with it, or like, how dare they love themselves like this? Now they'll never come back to me. How dare they put in those boundaries? Now I can't take from them. Or like, how dare they love themselves and walk around with their head held high, because now I feel insecure about myself, instead of them loving themselves and holding their head held high. There's a lot of like projections you have put on you just by you being you and owning who you are, pile 2. And it's nothing to worry about, because I feel like it creates a very perfect barrier for the right people to come in, because I'm being told the right people in that energy absolutely love that, come with the same cup and are like, cool, let's pour into each other. And it's funny that you literally picked the citrine as well, which is the solar plexus, which is confidence, self-confidence. I feel like you are a guiding light to people. You almost feel like the big sibling to people. People look to you like that, like the big brother, the big sister. Like, you feel like that. You feel like the big sibling to people. Like, they look to you to gain guidance in their own confidence, who they are, not allowing people to not allowing other people's opinions to get the better of them, because there's this feeling of you being quite carefree in that sense, and not really caring what people think. It's like, I'm just gonna do me. And I feel like you always look like on point. Like, you always look like 5 stars. You always look crisp. Like, there's just something about you, you're always put together. It's the scents, it's the way you look. It's even if you don't do much, even if you're someone that's quite natural, you don't wear a lot of makeup, or you don't wear the most fanciest things, it's just like the way you style things, the way that you look, you always look good. Even when you're dressed down, it's like you look good. I feel like you're that friend where it's like, dress casual, and it's like you turn up and everyone's like, why did you dress up? And you're like, this is casual. Like, you feel like that. And I feel like that energy in itself, it's like it allows people to pull strength from that and be like that too, and take pride in themselves too. Like, that's the impact that you'll have on people. So let's pull some oracle cards. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. Oh god. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. What is the impact that pile number 2 have on people? What's the impact that pile number 2 have on people? We have the Kabbalah, Tree of Life, Integration, Life Lessons, Emanation. Okay. So what I'm being told here as well is you've really built yourself up from the ground with this energy of the Tree of Life. Like, you've really had to go through a lot of shifts to become who you are. You really had to go through a lot of like working through insecurities, working through your own shadows to become who you are. And I feel like that's why you're so aware of who you are and why you don't allow people to take you out of that energy, because it's like, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I like, what I don't like, and I'm not scared to go after it or go get that or speak it out loud. Like, there's a feeling of that, and I feel like you've built yourself up and created yourself to be that best version of you. And I feel like you are kind of like a blueprint for others in that way. The back of the deck we have, oh, I don't know how to say this, Agathans. I never know how to say that, but it's manifesting, multidimensional perception and attunement. So there is this kind of energy, like, just like magic, I get whatever I want. You know what I mean? I can manifest what I want. I'll go after my goals. There is that kind of energy of that. And with manifesting, there is this energy of people looking to you as inspiration. People looking to you like, that person really knows themselves. That person doesn't let anything stand in their way. I want to be like that. I almost feel like you are a muse to people like that. But with manifestation, it's almost like people look to you like, what kind of sorcery is this? Like, they always look good. They always smell good. They always know the right thing to say. What sorcery is this? Like, how do I get some of that? There is a feeling of that. Pile 2. Sorry for the noise, by the way. I was saying to pile number 1, there's someone either drilling or like vacuuming. I don't know if there's like road work somewhere and they're so loud. So sorry if that's getting in the way of the video. I'll try and speak a bit louder. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. What is the impact that pile number 2 have on others? What is the imprint that pile number 2 have on others? We literally have Capricorn. We have Capricorn here. Very committed to self, very committed to your goals, very committed to living your best life and whatever that means to you. It's funny because I'm hearing material girl, and I'm just hearing this energy of like, you've really worked for what you want in life. Like, there's this feeling that you have that imprint on people, like, wow, they've really worked for that. They've really worked for that self-love. They've really worked for those, like, that confidence. They really worked for that. Or they really keep themselves in shape by physically applying themselves, whether that's like working out or it's like picking out the right outfits and making yourself look good. It's like you do what's necessarily needed in the physical world to bring that abundance to you. When people see that and really admire that and have respect for that, you do have that boss-like energy. And like I said, even if you're the quietest in the room, your energy is the loudest. Your energy demands respect, and that's an impact that you have on people, because everyone wants to be respected. You know what I mean? Everybody wants that, and I feel like that's something that people are in awe about with you. Like high value. On the back of the deck we have Taurus. So with the Taurus energy here, more earthy energy, it's like you know how to apply yourself in the physical. Some people, they can be very connected to spirit and very good with the energy, but then they struggle in the physical. They struggle to bring things into the physical, to bring things into manifestation in the physical. It's hard for them to do that. Whereas I feel like you have that beautiful blend of spirit, of that hearty energy, of that intuition and connecting with spirit, and you beautifully blend that and those empathic natures with the physical and allow it to kind of like root into the physical. And I feel like that's something that really has an impact on people. It's like, wow, they were able to do that. They have that perfect balance. And that is something that I feel that people are really impacted by you with. So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope you enjoyed. Apologies for the noise. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did enjoy. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 3, welcome to your reading. So we are going to be taking a look at what impact do you leave on other people? What is so unforgettable about you? So I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to the oracle cards, but I'm going to pop this up here and then we're going to get straight in. I don't know why. This is like so weird, and it isn't like the whole of the reading. This is just something that I feel people may have like noticed about you. I don't know why. Are you naturally like very warm? Bear with me as I try and explain. There's this feeling like your body heat, like you're always warm. Like you could be in a situation where everybody's cold, but like you're able to like generate heat within your body. Like I feel like you work with energy naturally anyway, but there's almost this feeling like, I don't know whether you like channel a lot or read for people, because when I channel and read for people, my whole body gets like hot. But there's almost this feeling like other people would have noticed that, like, you know, you could have been camping one time and everyone was freezing and you were fine. And they were like, you know, feeling you and you were just like nice and warm. That's something really bizarre coming through. Like you have, like your natural temperature just feels very warm. You can be in the cold and you can still generate that body heat. And it's something to do with how you work with energy. I know it's like such a weird gift that's coming through, but I'm being told like it's a gift that you would have learned in past lives to generate heat to keep yourself warm. You would have used it in other lifetimes, and in this lifetime, as a human being, you're remembering it, but it's almost like factory setting, so you don't even realize you do it. You may think everybody else does it. That's so, like, such an odd thing to come through, but that's something that Spirit made me mention straight away. Like, you're someone that can hold warmth within your body and, like, generate heat when you need to, that you would have practiced in another lifetime. Let me know what that's about, but that's what I'm being told. You may have people say, oh my God, you're, like, really warm, like, I'm freezing, and they'll like, snuggle up to you or something. That just came through, which I have to relay. If that doesn't resonate, that's completely fine, but, yeah, Spirit just wanted me to let that out for some reason. But pile number three, what is the imprint that pile number 3 have on other people? What is the imprint that pile number 3 have had on other... Oh God, I just shared Selena Gomez's song Kill 'Em With Kindness. I feel like you naturally are very polite and sweet to people. I'm gonna get into it obviously, but there's just this energy of like you may find like people don't like you for no reason, or even when people are mean to you, it's almost like you naturally just have a very, how do I explain this? You have a very happy-go-lucky way of looking at life, and I feel like when people are mean to you, you're naturally very sweet. It's like you'll kill them with kindness, you'll smile at them. You know when you like walk past somebody and you know they don't like you and they're like giving a glare or they're giving a dirty look? I feel like you're the type of person to smile at them, like smile and wave. I'm hearing that really frustrates people, but I feel like you do that. That's just come through for some reason. I'm getting like little filtered responses just kind of like zapping through. Pile number three. What is it about pile number 3? What is it about pile number 3 that is unforgettable? What imprint does pile number 3 have on others? What imprint? Your cards do not want to talk today. What imprint? I'm being told your cards don't want to talk because you are quite introverted naturally. And it's funny because the imprint that you have on others, I feel like when you're around, you'll stick in people's brain because you give off like a very scorpionic, mysterious flair. I don't feel like you're closed off. I feel like you're either always in your own world or you're always looking internally, going internally. It's like maybe you're constantly connecting to spirit. We do have the blue calcite here, so maybe you're always like in another realm in that sense. But there's just this energy of like you popping up somewhere. They're showing me from Harry Potter, Hermione, when she has that watch that takes her to like the past so she can go to like 2 lessons at the same time, and she just pop out of nowhere and they're like, where have you been? And she's like, oh, I've been here all along, but she wasn't. They're referencing that about you, like, where does this person go? What do they do in their spare time? It's like they may hear your name, they may see images of you, but it's like what this person does in their spare time, I have no idea. There's something very mysterious about you. There's this air of mystery, and I feel like that's why you're unforgettable, because naturally as human beings, we want to know everything. We're nosy. We want to know why people do the things that they do. And I feel like people may naturally see you sometimes as a bit peculiar, a bit, you know, you make people very curious. You don't let off a lot. And maybe when you do speak, it's something that they might not even be able to comprehend. Do you know what I mean? So there's just this energy of trying to work you out. Because even trying to tap into your energy, like them putting me in the energies of like other people, like little bits of information are coming through, and then I'm trying to connect the dots, and then I'm trying to work you out and understand you. And then when they put me in your energy, I just feel like you just in your own world living a happy life. Like, do you know what I mean? Connected with spirit, doing your own thing, internalizing a lot. And it's like, people just don't quite know what to make of you. It's like, what does this person do? There's a lot of questioning in the brain of like, what does this person get up to? How does that person get that wisdom? How does that person know to do that? Where does this person get their ideas from? What do they do when they're on their own? Who do they hang out with? It's an air of mystery. I'm being shown in school, we do like mystery machine. That's how people feel about you. And I feel like that's an impact that you have, because it's like people want to get to know what you're up to. It's like, I feel like people may like pry on your social media or ask about you a lot because they want to know. You know what I mean? They just want to know. Pile number 3. What impact does pile number 3 have on other people? Why are the cards falling on the floor today? We have the 3 of Pentacles. I'm going to lay the other cards before I get in. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. What imprint? Ooh. We have the Death card. Some Scorpio energy coming through. Some Pluto. Knight of Cups. Plutonian energy. We have the Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to lay the cards underneath and then I'll like direct channel and get into it. So pile number 3. What impact does pile number 3 have on people? 2 of Swords. Ace of Swords. Do you know what it is as well? You're always evolving, always shifting, always changing. You may have a lot of Scorpio on your chart, very Plutonian influence, like there's a feeling of that. So who you are is always changing. So it's like whenever somebody thinks that they've sussed you out, you literally are someone else at that point. They're referencing you being like a Rubik's Cube. So it's like the imprint you have on people, you leave people in a tailspin because it's like, I don't understand how this person maneuvers through life. I don't get it. You know what I mean? And then your higher self and you, like, there's this energy coming from you, like, you don't need to get it, boo. Like, you don't need to get it. Like, you'd get it if you were on my wave. If you're not on my wave, it's fine. Just, you know what I mean? Just move along. It doesn't matter. Like, there's a feeling of that. I feel like you don't really care what other people think about you. There may have been a time when you did, but I just feel like, again, it's just like, I'm in another realm. Like, I'm just not here. I'm in, like, a mythical realm. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's almost like a language barrier of energy between you and other people sometimes. And it's not to say that no one's ever going to speak your language. Your soul tribe will come in, but it's just this energy of maybe the people that you've grown up around, or maybe like family. It's like, what are they thinking? How do they get? And I feel like people will hear you say things, and it's like, where did they get that wisdom from? Where did they get that way of, like, that outlook of life? Like, where did they get that from? And it's like, people want to, even when people try to like mimic you to kind of be like you, they'll see something you do, or they'll see something you're practicing, or see something that you're doing as a job or wearing, and it's like, oh, I want to do that too. But then they'll try and do it, but it's like, the thing is, they see the image, they see the byproduct, the after product. They don't know what you've been through to get that wisdom. They don't know the internalization like it took to get that viewpoint. And people, again, it's like, I'm in a tailspin because I'm trying to create what this person's created, but I don't even know the ingredients. I have no idea, because they're quite private like that. You may not have a lot of posts on social media, or when you do, it's like just enough to draw people in, but not enough to get people to like really know who you are, if that makes sense. So people are like, where, how, who, what, why? Like, there's so much confusion and like brain fog coming through from other people. Like, I just don't get this person. And I'm also being told, like, in regards to like romantic interest and things like that, there's almost this feeling of like, they had to please. When it's like, I feel like your needs are quite simple, but it's like people read, because there's such room for projection as well. I feel like people read so much into it. I feel like, I don't know, there's this energy of like, I'm hard to please. They don't want to let me in. And I already know you guys are that pile that I've read for before, where that bell from Beauty and the Beast analogy comes up, where she's like walking through the town with a book and reading the book, and she's completely oblivious to everybody else, but everyone's like kind of like talking about her and interested in what she's up to, and Gaston's trying to get her attention. She's just reading a book. I've said that in numerous videos when I felt an energy like this, and I feel like you're that pile, so hello again. But that's coming through for you guys. Like, that's how people see you, and it's just like, what's this person up to, you know? Pile number, we have the King of Wands, okay? Pile number 3, what impact is pile number 3? Yeah, there's this feeling of like, okay, the whole crowd's going that way, but like, I'm gonna go the other way. And I don't even feel like you intentionally do it. It's not like, I'm gonna be rebellious, or I'm not like other girls. It's not like that. It's just like, the crowd's going that way, but I don't energetically feel called there. I feel called here, so I'm gonna do something different. And you just naturally have that. And I feel like you have like a lone wolf mentality sometimes, because your internal world is a lot more fun, it feels to you, than like external pleasures. So it's like, you just naturally do that. I feel like you're someone that is in dream world, or again, like in other realms. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3, what imprint and impact does pile number 3 have on others? What is unforgettable? That's the thing, you're unforgettable because people can't work you out. Like, you are unforgettable because of that. Pile number 3. It's like, think of a celebrity that was really mysterious, but like, when you think of like Beyonce, there's so much people like doing interviews and talking about Beyonce, and anything she does, it's like big. It's because no one really knows anything about Beyonce. Do you understand what I mean? It's the same with like The Weeknd. The Weeknd never did any interviews, and for a while he was just that mysterious dude making really good music. I didn't even hear his voice until like maybe a year ago when he put out that 80s sounding album. Like, I never heard his voice. He just had that mysterious flair. You're like that. Like, you feel like that. Pile number 3, what is unforgettable about pile number 3? We have the 7 of Cups. You know that song that came up in a reading a while ago, I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known? Like, there's a feeling of you like maybe choosing to go it alone, or maybe you never post images and stuff with other people, so people are like, who are they friends with? Who are they around? There's this feeling of you being quite introverted and being by yourself. Maybe in school you kept to yourself. There's a feeling of that. 6 of Cups at the back of the deck as well. So let's take a look at the cards properly. 3 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords. Yeah, there's almost this, do you guys share like words of wisdom, or like not even just like words of wisdom, but like poems, art? You may like post like an image and then have like really long captions of like in-depth explanations, or like thought processes that you've like come to realize, and like putting that on social media. Or you may even just post images in the sense of like, you know, a picture tells like 1,000 words, that type of thing. But there's almost this energy of like, I do feel people naturally are drawn to you, but it's more so for your wisdom and the things that you have to say. But with the 2 of Swords here, again, it's that energy of how did they get to that point? How did they think of that? Like, you always leave people needing more. And I feel like sometimes you may even draw in people that may try and like love bomb you, because it's like that energy of like projection, because you're not giving them much and wanting to know what's going on in your world. It's like people may love bomb you to try and get into your life, or people may just like not want to like leave you alone or keep coming back. There's an energy of that, because it's like, it's quite enticing. You have like siren, alluring energy. I hope that's making sense. And with the Death card and the Ace of Swords, it's like, again, they're just referencing here with the Death card and the Ace of Swords, like you guys going through death and rebirth a lot, purging a lot, going through these phoenix moments a lot. Who you are is always shifting. Maybe your aesthetic is always changing, or maybe just your viewpoint. Who was it that I think it was Lauryn Hill. She did an interview, and she was basically saying in the interview, like, when every like so often, like months, I have to reintroduce myself to my family and my friends, not because they forgot who I am, but because I am constantly going on this evolution. I'm constantly changing, so I have to keep reintroducing myself to the people even close to me, because it's like I'm a different person, and I'm going to have to kind of explain to you how it's going to go down, what my boundaries are. I'm going to have to keep doing that, because I'm always shifting and it's always changing. So there's a feeling like that about you, and maybe that adds to the fact like why people feel like they can't get in, because maybe when they feel like they've got a leeway, it's like you've gone up like 3 stories. Do you know what I mean? Like once they get into the building to like try and find out about you, it's like you've gone up to the roof. Like there's a feeling of that. You're almost kind of like never in reach. So that impact that you have on people, it's kind of like this mystical mist of like how do I touch that? How do I grab that? And it's almost like the reference in like mermaids mermaids and fairies. What is a mermaid? Oh my god, mermaids and fairies, because it's like the other realms, like it's that they're quote unquote mythical. Do they exist? Don't they exist? We don't know, but we still talk about it, and it's fun to talk about it. So it's that feeling about you. It's like, I don't really know if this person is an alien, a fairy, a mermaid, a mermaid. I don't know, but it's like people have fun kind of contemplating or like trying to understand you. It's like you're that Rubik's Cube, and that's an impact that you have then, because you just send people on this tailspin of like, I feel people getting ungrounded, trying to wonder like what you're up to, what you're doing, you know what I mean? King of Wands and Knight of Cups as well. There's just this energy as well. I feel like you guys do draw in a lot of people. It's funny, you're someone that's like an introvert, you're someone that likes to spend time to yourself, and I feel like one of the reasons you are quite introverted as well is you have a lot of like emotional depth. Like you have a lot of emotional depth, and I feel like to kind of be on your wave, to be on your level, it's tapping in through energy, and it's emotionally connecting to you. It's not something that can be taught, it's just something that you become, and I feel like that's your wavelength. Whereas I feel like you may draw in a lot of people that they almost look at you sometimes as like a challenge. Like I'm being told like romantic interest, trying to look at you like a challenge and wanting to kind of like impress you. I don't know why I'm feeling that energy, because it's reminding me of like Gaston when he's trying to get Belle and she's just not impressed, and he has like a really big ego. There's a feeling of that as well. The impact that you have is people almost wanting to like get into your circle, get into your life, see what's going on, go down that wonderland and see what you're all about. There's a feeling of that. And I don't think that's ever left you. I feel like that's always kind of been the case. Because there's almost a feeling as well of like people seeing you maybe out having fun, people seeing a video of you, and then you being really lively and really funny or talking a lot, or maybe they'll see you again with this Three of Pentacles. You may have some sort of following where you're talking a lot of wisdom, and then it's like, when people actually approach you, then it's like you're on a different wavelength speaking to them, because again, it's like that energy language barrier, and you may be more introverted, or you may come off a little bit aloof or cold, or they can't quite get through to you, and they're like, well, how are they like that with me, but then I see them with, you know, that person, or I saw them online doing this, or I saw them at like a seminar saying this, and then it's like when I speak to them, they've got nothing to say. Like, I don't get it. It's like people are wanting to bring that version out of you. It's that type of feeling that I'm picking up, and it's quite, because they keep putting me, I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense, but they keep putting me in the mind frame of other people. So to be in that mind frame of other people, and they're giving me that tailspin that goes round and round in circles trying to figure you out. So I may sound like those people because I'm taking on their thoughts. So apologies if it starts not making sense, or if I go around in a loop, but that's how it feels. It's like a Rubik's Cube. I'm going left, right, up, down, trying to work you out, and I'm just confusing myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like that. Yeah, and with the Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups as well, it's like, when we look at the Seven of Cups as well, this talks about illusion. You never really know what you're getting with these cups. And there's almost that feeling like you're always shifting, you're always changing. I feel like when people do step back to you, when people try to connect with you, it's like, what am I going to get from this person? Like, how are they going to speak to me? Like, what am I going to get? This person's always shifting, this person's always changing. With the Six of Cups at the back of the deck as well, there's almost this feeling of like people from your past, like, I would like to reach out to this person, or I would like to contact this person, but when I knew them, they were like this, and I've just looked at their social media, or I've just shared something through the grapevine, or I've just witnessed them in real life doing something, and they seem very, very different to how I remember them, and I don't think they'd want to talk to me now. Like, there's almost a feeling of that. I don't know if you guys like Harry Potter. Harry Potter's come up a lot in this reading. But you know, in the Prisoner of Azkaban, when they're closing Hogwarts because Sirius Black is on the loose and he's going to kill Harry, so everyone thinks. So they have like all of the doors shut in, and it's all kind of being locked in. There's this feeling of that in your life. Like, when people are in your life, there's this intensity. I feel like they learn a lot. I feel like that when you're in someone's life, you have so many different personalities and so many different insights. It's like you're a different person all the time. You have that ability to be multidimensional in this lifetime, that you can sometimes, for some people, even be a handful, because it's like, what am I going to get with this person? They're different all the time. But then I'm feeling when you cut somebody off, or when you move on, or when you quite literally purge and ascend and you're out of their life, it's like they're showing me the Hogwarts doors, like the doors are literally all shut in. You cannot get in. It's kind of like forbidden. You can't get back in. So there's a feeling of like people that are in your circle, at least where you're at currently, witnessing you cutting people off and holding on for dear life. Like, I don't want to upset this person. I don't want this person to like ascend without me. Like, I need to hold on to this person for dear life. And then there's this feeling of like people that you would have cut away like outside Hogwarts, just kind of like knocking on the windows like, yo, open up, like trying to get back in. But it's like, where do I even fall back in here? Because this person's just on a different wave and it's hard to tell. So that impact that you have on people, it's like, you just seem like that really mysterious person. We've all met one of them in our lives, someone that's very mysterious, you don't know a lot about, but they're really fun to be with. If you've ever watched Friends, they're showing me movies and TV shows. If you've ever watched Friends, there was an episode, I'll talk about it just in case you've never watched it, but there was an episode where Ross and Chandler, they have a friend. I can't remember the name of the friends, like the name of the friend, but he was like really crazy. And every time he came into town, apparently, according to them, they'd have the best time and they'd always get up to like the weirdest stuff. I think his name was Gandalf or something like that. And they'd get into like the weirdest stuff. And they talked about him so highly and they were like, oh my God, like I'm so excited. This is going to be like a crazy week. He's coming into town. But like you never actually saw the person. His literal name was something like Gandalf. And he was just this mysterious person that apparently brought all the fun, but you never actually saw him. I feel like you're that person. I feel like that echoes with friends. Like, I had this one friend and they did this and that. Like, you're that mysterious, really cool person. That's the impact that you have. I hope it makes sense, because I'm with the other people trying to like work it out in their brain. But that's what I'm being told. That's the impact that you have. It's like getting caught in this really cool like rainbow storm, but like when you fall out, it's like trying to get back in, but then you can't because it's moved on. Do you know what I mean? It's that type of energy. Yeah, okay, I want to pull some more cards. So let's pull the Starseed, the Mystic Martians Oracle. So pile, let me put that there. Yeah, I feel like you've had an effect on people. A proper effect on people. Like when people are in your life, you're really like multi-dimensional, but you're only like that for the people that understand you, because people have come into your life and just not understood you, and then it may have like fallen flat, or they may have just not got it. It may have confused them even more. Whereas like the right people, they really understand you. Like I'm being shown you, like with certain people, it's like you can show a different aspect, and then with other people, it's like I don't even know what to say to you because I don't really like small talk. I really don't know what to talk about. If it's kind of like with myself, I'm not very good at small talk, because it's like if I'm, you know, in the shop getting some bread and the cashier is talking to me about whatever, my type of conversation is like talking about the consciousness of a tree. You know what I mean? Or how we're all interconnected. I start talking about that in the shop, people are going to look at me very stupid, and I just get this look of like, what is wrong with you? Like I do get that sometimes, whereas like I feel like you have that, whatever it is that you're into, or just maybe the wavelength that you're on, you want to talk about deep stuff, and that's the only like language there. Do you know what I mean? Like let's merge energies, and do you know what I mean? Go there. But it's like with people that are more just for the physical and the physical alone. It's 2:22 on the clock, by the way, if you guys have been seeing 2:22. Just like I feel like when people just care about the physical alone, it's like you don't really quite know what to say. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I feel like that's your impact. Pile number 3, what card just fell? We have blue avians, and it's funny the blue avians have come up, because when the blue avians come up when I channel them in starseed readings, they do tend to have bird-like features, but sometimes they literally come up as this ball of light, like this white ball of light. They don't necessarily have a physical body, but their energy is so grand, and they have so much like wisdom, and that's almost your energy in this incarnation. So I feel like you may be a very, very old soul, or you may have like in regards to starseeds, if you believe in that, you may connect to blue avians or Acturians, because there's this energy of I know I don't quite belong here, but you know what I mean. It's better in my mind because I can kind of be in different realms here, but I know I don't quite belong in this 3D. I can kind of feel that in my bones. You know what I mean? And we have philosophy, releasing karma, and mysticism on here. So you guys may be a mystic. You guys may be into like tarot, astrology. You guys may be like philosophers. You may like things like palmistry, numerology, psychology, anything that's just deep, anything that goes so deep, and you can talk about it and talk about it a lot because you're very gifted like with words. I feel you have a lot of wisdom and you need that type of connection back. And I feel like you're not even like naturally a lone wolf. I just feel like you choose to be like that instead of just watering yourself down. Maybe in the past you've watered yourself down. And I feel like, at least the energy I'm tapping into right now, you're not in that energy now. And I don't feel like you tend to do that much anymore. But I feel like there would have been a time where you did. Whereas now it's kind of like, I'll just be on my own until someone crops up that I can really have a good, a good conversation with. And the back of the deck, we have Alpha Draconians, Corrupt, Unethical Occults. This by here, I love how they're on a thrones, like depicted in like royal family type stuff with the Draconians. It's quite funny. I've never realized that before. But what I'm being told here, it's like the world that's set up in regards to like power, practical things, all of that. Okay, it can be fun when you're delving into it sometimes, but like your soul doesn't connect to that. Your soul doesn't live in that kind of world. I feel like you kind of live, do you know that meme of Alice in Wonderland, like I think I posted on my Twitter, she's laying in the flowers and she says, in a world of my own, that song that she sings, a world of my own. There's a feeling of that, like whatever it is that's set up in society, fun, I'll dabble when I need to, but I'm not going to live by it. I'm going to create my own world with my own realms, and I'm not going to tap into any of this. It doesn't support me in any way, it doesn't make me feel good. I'm not for it. And I feel like the people may be around you, or people from the past, it's like they're very caught up in that. So it's like you are literally speaking through like a glass, it feels. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're not speaking the same language here. But I want you to know you do have a soul tribe, and the more you emanate that energy, the more you be authentic, you are attracting them to come in. You're not going to be on your own for life. That's a message that I just heard from Spirit. Because I feel like it's been a little bit lonely for you. Sometimes you're like, I wish I just had someone I could talk about all of this with, I feel like you've been on your own by default at times, which just adds to that mystery from other people. It's like, who is this person? You know what I mean? And it's not a case of like, Pal 2 was like, who is this person? They're a superstar. Like, they're like a pop star. With you, it's like, who is this person? They're so mysterious. Are they real? Like, that's what you have. You have that energy. Pile number 3, final card for pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. What impact do they have on others? You get people to think as well, whether it's just the things that you say or just the way that you maneuver through life. It's very different. I feel like when people do get like a look out into your life, you get people to think outside the box. You get people to like see things from a higher perspective. You get people to look at like life in the sense of, is that all there is? And I feel like you expand people's minds to things that are a lot deeper. And it doesn't have to be in a sense of spirituality. It could be in a sense of psychology. It could be in the sense of science. It doesn't have to be spirituality. It can be anything. Because I feel like for some of you it will be science, for some of you it will be psychology, it will be that, but there's so much depth that sometimes people are like, oh, because some people are like, oh, it's not that deep, but in a life like this, it actually is pretty deep, and I don't feel like I need to tell you. I feel like you already know. I feel like you're one of the ones that are aware of that in whatever sense that is, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, like that. Pile number 3, you're very intelligent as well, very, very intelligent, and you pick up so much and see a lot. This isn't like the impact that you have on people, it's just what I'm tapping into now. Like, they're letting me be in your energy now, and what I see is someone very, very advanced, very, very intelligent, bit of like a rewired brain, I feel like you're someone that I could talk to. I feel like you're that type of person who, if I was in the store talking to the cashier about the consciousness of a tree, I feel like you're the person that behind me that will continue the conversation and be like, you know what, that's a really good outlook. This is what I think. You're that person. Pile 3, you're one of those. That's how I like resonate with you as on a soul level. Like, that's how you feel. I feel like I could talk to you a lot. Pile number 3. We have Jupiter. The crow here is really sticking out to me. I feel like you may have a spirit animal that is a bird, especially with the blue avians. They always show up as birds, and I was picking up blue avian, Arcturian, and then we literally have the bird here. You may be very connected to birds, like intuitively. There's a strong essence in regards to birds here. Not even a sense like I want a bird as a pet. It's kind of like one flies next to you, like, hey bro, like it just feels like that. There's like a connection there with birds, and I feel like spirit use birds to guide you in a lot of ways, I'm being told. And with Jupiter energy as well, I know Jupiter is about like luck and expansion, but there's almost this energy coming through with that, especially with him holding the stick. Like, you come across as like a druid, like a shaman, like a magician, like a mystic, like someone that just like creates their reality for them and creates abundance for them, and whatever that means for them. Like, you come across that way, and I feel like people do seek you when they need guidance with that. We have Virgo at the back as well, and the thing is, like, with Virgo energy, they're very intellectual. I feel like they do really look deep into things. When we think of earth energy, you know, we think of them being very grounded, but I find with Virgo energy, they tend to overthink. There's like a lot of tabs going on in their brain, and I feel like that's you. Not even in a negative way. You may tend to have to ground yourself a lot, but it's because your brain, it's like, you're not just listening to a song, you're listening to the lyrics, you can hear the melody in the background, you're creating a music video in your head. Like, artistically, it's like you have so many layers multidimensionally. There's just so much going on. It's like you see so deeply into things. It's like someone could stand next to you and then make one comment, and you're like, oh wow, okay, so your throat chakra, you know, you're going through an activation here, but then your heart chakra feels a little bit blocked, and you're saying that are the wounds of your childhood trauma. Like, you'll read people so well, like in an analytical way, and I feel like there's that intensity then, like people don't even know what to make of it, because they can almost feel you reading them, but they can't quite understand it in their brain, so they're like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So that's the impact on why you're so unforgettable. It's like that intensity, but it's like you almost baffle people. You really do. It's like the mythical creature. That's the impact you have on people. So I hope that makes sense for you, pile number 3, and I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it resonated for you. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are going to be taking a look at what impact you have on others and why you are so unforgettable. So you guys chose the red jasper. I'm going to pop that up here, and we are going to get straight in. So I want to say, when I opened up to your collective and tapped into the collective of you, a song came through. It was Eminem and his song Legacy. I don't know if you've ever heard it. Maybe you've been listening to it recently, or there could be a message in that song that helps, but that song just came through as I opened up. Legacy by Eminem. I just kept hearing the song, so just gonna pass that on to you guys because it may help someone, but that came through. So pile number 4, I'm gonna start with tarot. We'll move on to the oracle cards then. Tap me into the collective of pile number 4, please. Tap me into the collective of pile number 4. What is the impact that pile... There's some Capricorn energy coming through here. Like, I'm really embodying Capricorn energy. It doesn't have to be. It's just this energy of someone that, very, like, practical. Very... I'm going to get into it because I'm just trying to, like, pull on it a second to see how people feel. There's just this energy of someone being very practical, or somebody just naturally... not just like oozing respect, but I feel like a lot of people lean on you, but it almost doesn't even feel in like emotional way. It may be, it's just that energy of like, if you have Capricorn placements, you may find this, like, people look into you to like help them out. People look into you almost in that sense of like the Saturn influence of Capricorn, like that fatherly energy of like sorting problems out, fixing problems, nurturing, but in a way of like, how do I explain it? helping people out, fixing people's problems, guiding people to do the right thing. That there's a feeling of that. I feel like you're leaned on in a way. It could be by siblings, it could be by family or friends. You may be like the mother of the group, father of the group in regards to your friends. You may have, like, even in friend groups in the past, always been that way. And I just hear the word diplomatic. Like, you're very diplomatic. I feel like you don't allow your emotions to take control of things. It's like you look at things in a very practical way. And I feel like you're someone that would sort out, like, so now there was, your friends were having an argument or your family were having an argument, like, you're that person that would sort the issue out. You know what I mean? Come to like a fair conclusion. Like, you're that type of person. And I feel like because of that role, I feel like people have a lot of respect for you. You know what I mean? There's a feeling of that, of you in people's lives. Like, people have respect for you. People, there's almost this feeling of, if they give me advice and I do the opposite, I almost feel ashamed to tell them because they told me not to. They gave me really good advice and I didn't take it. It's almost like coming to you in like a parent way of like, I don't know, like I feel like I've just kind of like done this person wrong in a sense by not taking their advice, because I know if I'd have taken their advice, everything would have been fine. But I just was on my F shit and I just, I did that. There's a feeling of that coming through about you guys, pile 4. Pile number 4, let's lay the cards and then I'll continue channeling. So pile 4, please, spirit guides, what is the impact that pile number 4 have on others? What is the impact that pile number 4 have on others? We have the Knight of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles. Strong earthy energy coming through. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. I knew I felt earthy Capricorn energy. Maybe like Mercury or Moon in Capricorn, Taurus, maybe Virgo. And you chose the red jasper, which is very grounded and earthy as well. I knew I was feeling that. And I said before I'd press play, when I was opening up to you guys, because like I call your energies in. When I was in pile 3's energy, it was very like whimsical and almost watery and airy at the same time. Literally the shift in energy going from 3 to 4. Normally they'll filter in a way where I can flow through them, and it's like, it's not so much of like a roller coaster, but coming from 3 to 4, like, you're very present, or at least that's how people view you. You almost feel like an anchor to other people. You do feel that way to other people, and I felt myself spinning out of like my mind in pile 3 in a sense of going around in a circle, and then I come to your reading and I just felt rooted, like literally like a plant. Have you ever done like a meditation where you like root yourself like a plant? That's how I felt going into your energy then, and at least how you make people feel. I just felt like, oh, everything makes sense now. I hope that makes sense, but that's how you feel. Pile number 4. I'm also being told you've learned a lot of wisdom through like trial and error, or through maybe childhood. You may have had to parent siblings or parent your own parents, or you may have been like the older of the siblings and always had to kind of like set an example. There's a feeling of that coming through as well. Pile number 4, please, spirit guides, what impact do they have? Oh, hang on, I've just knocked like 20 cards on the floor. I'm joking, I think there's about 3. Is that it? Have we got them? Yeah. Okay, pile number 4. I feel like people do look up to you as well, because with the Knight of Pentacles going to the King of Pentacles, it's like people needing help in a specific area in which you've either mastered, or they just know you have that within you to kind of like take the lead, so people come to you with it. It's like, how do I become the king, you know? Pile number 4. I feel like you might have had to grow up quite early or something like that. Pile 4. Are your parents always taught you to be very grounded and have your head screwed on? Like, you've just always been that way. Pile 4. What impact is pile number 4? Why are your cards literally jumping over my shoulder? Oh my god, look at all this earth. We have the 7 of Pentacles. Sorry, I keep stopping the reading. The cards just keep jumping out of my hands. Pile number 4. What impact does pile number 4 have on others? Why are they so unforgettable? 8 of Swords. Why are pile number 4 so... Oh god, that just hopped out. 7 of Swords. Maybe you learned to be this way because of people maybe hurting you in the past. people taken from you in the past. You had to kind of boundary up. Maybe you were very open and then you had to learn to grow up quite young. So now it's like you're that voice of reason to other people, because it's like you've worked through maybe emotional turmoil, you've worked through all of that, you see things from that higher perspective, you've been able to heal from situations. So it's like that impact that you have in people's life as of now, it's like they went through this and they have all that wisdom because of it. So I need their guidance because they'll know what to do. You almost feel like that guru to come to help make sense of things because you yourself have been through it. That's how it feels. Pile number 4. Three of Cups. Pile number 4. 2 more cards, please, Spirit Guides. Clarify the 7 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords. What impact does pile number 4 have? I feel so calm in your energy as well. 2 of Pentacles. You hold a lot of space for people around you. Very nurturing. But you also wouldn't take any ish. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and again with the 7 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles, it's like, well, when we had the 2 of Pentacles, he's juggling these. You know what I mean? It's like he can't quite hold them both at the same degree. So he's kind of like juggling them and he's kind of fallen short in a way. Whereas with the 7 of Pentacles, he's planted these seeds so he can reap the benefits later on. It's like you're someone that's able to apply yourself to the physical. It's like, say now you want to be like a healthy weight. It's like, okay, well I need to work out, so I'll create this routine, and then it's like you'll stick to it. You'll stick in that routine and you'll get the results and you'll reap the rewards later. Whereas a lot of people that come to you, it's almost like 2 of Pentacles, like I don't know what to do, and you're like, right, this is what we're gonna do. Like you're very helpful like that to the people around you. Pile number, to other people you seem like you got it all worked out, you've got it all together. And it's funny because through other people's eyes, in which I'm tapping into, it almost is as if you've come to that like effortlessly, like you're just gifted in that. Whereas when I tap into you, it's like you're always, I wouldn't say internalizing in the sense like your mind's going in a loop, but you're always like filtering through things and understanding things and bringing them back into the physical and creating a plan of action like in your brain. You're always doing that. I feel like a lot goes into it, but people almost look at it like, oh wow, like, you know what I mean, this just comes out of nowhere. But it's not the case at all. It really isn't. You're that type of person that people would like inspire to be like, maybe in their life. Maybe you're someone that's very organized. You feel like that. I feel like you're organized. You know, like, have you ever seen the Kardashians? And I think it was Chloe. It was either Chloe or Kourtney. And in their house, they had like, I swear to God, their pantry, they had like plastic, like, what are they called? Plastic, like, I don't even know what they're called. Like, let's just say boxes that would have like cashew nuts, like Cocoa Pops, like whatever the case, like cereals. And they're all in there, all neat and tidy, and everything is in its place. I admire that, but to that degree, it's just like, oh my God. But I feel like not even the sense of that maybe you in real life, in the sense of like putting everything in order, but I just feel like that's your mind. And I feel like because of your outlook like that, because you're able to put things in order and break them down practically and maybe remove emotion in a sense and be able to look at the emotion as like a visitor and work through that, I feel like when people come to you, it's like you kind of, how do I make this, like, put this into words? You will, how do I put this into words, Britt? Can you help me get this into words? They'll come to you with advice, they'll come to you with a problem, and then you'll kind of practically put everything into order so they can kind of understand it better and make sense of it instead of them being in a tailspin. And because of that, you're looked at as someone that is kind of like a parental figure in a way, or just someone that has their ish together, someone to like inspire to be like. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like with this 3 of Cups, the people that are in your life, they really do value you. You may have people that literally depend on you. It does feel like that. Like you may have people that depend on you. I feel like you've had to learn who's in your life for you and who's in your life just because you may have been healing to them in that way, or you may have been like needed in that way. It's like, who actually wants me and who needs me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you've had to learn that, or maybe you're still learning that. But what you've learned all of that through wisdom as well. And I just feel like because of that, people naturally gravitate to you as well, like when they'll need you. or they just naturally gravitate to the way that you live your life and the way that you process emotions. You're the voice of reason, and that's an impact that you have on people. People are almost looking at you with this Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, like you can turn water into wine, like your wisdom. It's like, you know, they could be spending their money on this, that, and whatever that isn't going to bring them much success, and you're like, wait a minute now, you have this much money going out. I feel like you naturally give advice without even realizing it. Like, right, you have this much money going out, so why don't you save that money, put it into that, because then you can get your money back. Like, there's a feeling of your brain working that way. And I feel like you do it without even realizing. People are like, wow, that person's really intelligent. That's a really good idea. I feel like with you, no stone is left unturned. And because of that, everything feels in order. Like, everything feels grounded. It's like seed being planted in the ground and coming up for, like, you know, to bear the fruits. Like, you feel like somebody like that. So there's a lot of respect. With the Seven of Swords here, I'm being told as well, there is a little bit of envy in regards to you from other people. You may have people try and project onto you, because that energy, a lot of people like will want to be like that. And I feel like people will see you having it all together, or seeing you knowing what to do. They may like project onto you sometimes, like, oh, that person's a know-it-all. That person thinks they know everything. And I don't even feel it's that at all. I just feel like you've been through a set of experiences that have had you grow up. And I feel like you're naturally a caring person. You're naturally a nurturing person. I feel like you help out people, but there is a feeling of that you may trigger people sometimes. With this Eight of Swords and the High Priestess as well, it's like when people are stuck, when people are like wrapped up in something, it's like you don't even have to really say anything. You could just be giving general advice. You're just literally saying out. That helps somebody. Like, there's this feeling of you sitting there with a friend or a family member. You're just having a, you know, a little chin wag. You're having a little, you know, chat with somebody, and you just say something off the tongue. Like, this is just like a quote I heard, or you just, you know, it's just said like a quote, or like just something that's come out of your brain, or a perception of the way you look at something, and then without knowing it, like internally, you've just actually answered somebody's thought that they were stuck in, or you've just given somebody information to kind of get them through something that they're going through. There's something about that. It came through in one of the other piles, I think it was 1 or 2, where like the words hold weight, but for you it's like in a very practical way. It's like, oh wow, that person's really looking at life from a very grounded perception, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna apply that to my life. I'm gonna apply that to my life, and I'm gonna do that. And there is that energy of like high maintenance as well coming through, of you just doing the best for you and practically working towards whatever it is that you want. And I feel like that naturally, I feel like people that really, really respect you for that. That's the imprint that you have on people. People really, really respect you. And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like, when we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, that cogwheel, that wheel that's turning, it stops working. You know what I mean? It stops turning, you're stuck. But when that Wheel of Fortune is upright, we're always in motion. So there's this feeling of like when people are stuck, just your presence alone, or even just looking at what you're doing in your life, they can apply it to their own life and it can get that wheel turning. A lot of wisdom. Do you understand what I mean? So that's something that's come through. I'm going to pull some oracle cards now. I'm going to use the Mystic Martian oracle cards. I just want to see if there's anything else before I pull them. Spirit, is there anything else in regards to the impact that Pile and Before have on others? You dress very well. Like, I literally just got shown somebody like dressing really well, and it's not even in a sense of like flashy. It's not even a sense of like, you know, the glitz and the glamour or anything like that. It's just something about the way that you dress. You always look high maintenance. You always look like someone that like oozes boss energy. You have boss energy. You have big D energy in that sense. I feel like you're someone that doesn't take ish. And I feel like when people want to enforce their boundaries, when people want to boss up in their life, you're the muse, Pile 4. You are that muse. Anything else, Spirit? Pile number 4. And as well, you may trigger people, but it's in a sense of like, you don't allow your emotions to carry you away, or at least you don't anymore, or you're stepping into a time where you don't. So it's like you look at things from a very grounded and very balanced perspective. So you could, like, let's just say be in a relationship with someone or be in a situation with someone, and it's like they may be very like mentally they may look at life through a very like mental perception. They may be very in their mental energy, and they're always going deep, and maybe they're overthinking, and it's like your groundedness, it's like it may trigger them because it's like they don't quite understand it, because it's like you're sometimes when people get into relationships, they want like someone to love bomb them, or they want somebody to like chase them, and I feel like you're somebody that wouldn't chase. You're not somebody that love bomb. You're very practical. It's like, if I'm with you, I'm going to build with you. And I feel like people that have some healing to do, or like, I'm saying it because I feel like you've been in a situation with someone like this, people that may have some healing to do, or people that still have insecurities within them, it's like they're connecting with you, and then it's like, because you're not overextending yourself, because you're not feeding into, you know, any of that, because you're not chasing them or playing those games, they're like, oh, this person doesn't like me, or there's a feeling of that, and then them trying to like project, whereas you're just looking at things very balanced. I feel like the way you look at relationships and friendships with people is quite old school, or at least just very grounded, very traditional. And I feel like for the way that people are in this world at this moment, especially when people try to connect with people when they may still be, you know, acting in regards to love out of their wounded inner child, I feel like there may be some triggers there, but it does in the end allow them to like heal, because you have a very good practical approach at life. That's what I'm being told. Very good practical approach. So let's pull the oracle cards. Oh, pile number 4. I feel like you see life more practical than even I do. I have to read the way that you just naturally go about life. I have to ground myself and really like, I'm very air dominated in my chart. I have to ground myself and push myself into the 3D to get anything done. And that's something like every day I've got to work on grounding. You just do it naturally. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just do it naturally. I feel like I would even look to you as someone that was like a muse to me in regards to getting things done practically, because I could just float to the ethereal realms all day, and I feel like you have a good balance. Do you know what I mean? A really, really good balance in this 3D life. Yeah. Pile number 4. Pile number 4. Pile number 4, please, spirit guides. What is the impact that pile number 4 have on others? What is the impact that pile number 4 have on others? I'm hearing the Little Mix song, No. And they're saying, no, no, no. I've said yes too many times. Now it's no. I'm no longer under your control. So I don't know whether this Knight of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords, you used to be taken advantage of. You learned to say no. You learned your boundaries. You learned, you know, that enforcing your boundaries was not a negative thing, and not worrying about how other people would take it. I don't know whether you've learned that in this life, or people learn that through you in this life, or literally both. There's that feeling, because they keep playing me Little Mix. No. Pile 4. Very intelligent as well. Pile number 4. Oh, your cards keep jumping out of my like hands and whacking my shoulder as if to like pat my shoulder. Let me grab it. Okay, so I don't know how to say this top word. Ouroboros, I think it is. Infinity, eternal, past life. So we have that, and then we also have at the back of the deck, I love the imagery on that. We have fire, warrior, passion, fearlessness. Yeah, you almost do have that energy of like take no prisoners, like, Spirit, help me put that into words. I feel like you're someone to go after your passions and really put like a practical approach into it. I don't mean in the practical sense that you're someone that keeps it safe, because I do see a lot of, you have a lot of big dreams, but you're someone that will really put in that work to get those big dreams. Some people will have those big dreams and not put in the work. Some people just will never have those big dreams at all and keep it safe. I feel like you have a beautiful mix of like that passion, that fire energy, that drive. But it's also mixed with that earthy energy. You know what I mean? You may have like a lot of Leo in your chart, you know, fixed air. It's like you have that passion, you have that drive, but then it's like you also are able to like continue at it and stick to it. Some people won't, they'll burn out. I don't feel like you're one of those people. That's what I'm picking up there. And with infinity, eternal, past life, I feel like a lot of your wisdom as well, when we look at that number there, 3 and 4 adding up to 7, when we think of the number 7, that's ruled by Neptune. You know, it's like philosophy, a lot of like internal work. I feel like in a lot of past lives, you've learned a lot of wisdom, and I feel like you naturally carry it into this life. You naturally bring that into this life, and I feel like that's why you're such a such a light for people too. But there's this feeling of like, yes, you're a light to people and you're a healer, but it's not in the sense of like, let me come to you with my wounds and please help me purge them. It's not even like that. It's like, please comfort me. Please help me see the silver lining. Please tell me, like, big me up, or help me put this into a perspective in which I can break it down and understand it better. Like, that's that way. You're a healer in that sense. Because sometimes we can be a healer and take on the emotions and take it on and purge it. Whereas you're more like, practically like, I feel like this is Capricorn moon, because it's like you're taking the emotion, but you're like not necessarily embodying it, you're understanding it in a very earthy way. You could have an air moon, so you're like filtering it through, putting it into order in your brain, and then packaging it back to them and being like, right, this is what we've got, this is what we're working with, this is what we're going to work through, this is what we're going to do to get over it, and you know, this is, you know, what we're going to do moving forward. Like, this is it. I feel like you package it, you process things like that. You're like a kind of like, whether you're a male or female, you have that kind of like fatherly energy, that practical, diplomatic energy. You bring that in. Very connected to your divine masculine in a very healthy way, which balances the divine feminine. Yeah, and I feel like you've learned to do that in past lives as well. I feel like that's why it's natural to you in this lifetime. Yeah. Very good impact to have on people, to be fair. Like, you're respected. You're definitely respected by people. I feel like some people might even be lost without you. Like, it does feel that. I don't know whether you have like younger friends or siblings, like, or like one specific sibling or one specific family member, like a cousin, because I'm being taken to like a cousin or a niece or a nephew, and it's like you may take over a parenty role, because it's almost a feeling like, oh my god, if that person wasn't in my life, like, I would be nothing without that person. I don't know if I would have got through that without that person. It's kind of like you're an earth angel. Pile 4. That's the impact you have on people. Pile number 4, final card, please, spirit guides. Pile number 4, what impact does pile number 4 have? We have Virgo, so more earth energy coming through. We have Virgo, and then what's the back of the deck? We have Aries. Some of you guys take a lot of like pride in your physical body, or really work out to make sure you're nice and like healthy. I am being told that, but again, with Virgo, it's just that energy of creating order out of chaos with the Virgo energy, and in turn it's healing, very helpful. When we think of like Virgo energy, okay, sometimes in an unbalanced energy, they will people please, they'll go out of their way to help. But in a balanced energy, they're problem solvers. They do look after the people around them. They are very earthy. You know what I mean? They do look at things quite deeply at the same time. And I just feel like you're able to take on a lot of information, like an overload. Because I was saying with pile number 3, Virgo energy, it's like, if you've ever tapped into like a Virgo moon, or you've seen somebody with like Virgo Mercury, Virgo moon, they have 100 tabs open in their brain at all times, always filtering through that. But with you guys, what's beautiful about you guys is other people's tabs are like open, and you're able to take on that load, filter through it, work through it, close whatever tabs aren't needed, and still remain grounded at the end of it and give very good advice. You're like that. I feel like you've mastered the physical aspect, or you've mastered it in this lifetime, or that's a journey that you're going through in this, like, mastering the physical aspect of being on earth, mastering the physical aspect and not letting emotions get the better of you, or becoming ungrounded. Like, you're mastering that, or you've already mastered it. There's a feeling of that, but you feel like an earth angel. That's literally how you feel. You feel like an earth angel, because you really do have a heart of gold. 100%. So pile number 4. Oh wait, there's one thing I'm being told actually. Sometimes when you give advice, you know when to give tough love, when to give nurturing love. And I feel like sometimes when you give tough love, or you may be saying something that somebody doesn't want to hear, because some people, they'll come to you for advice, but they really just want you to enable what they're already doing. I've had people be like that with me, and I can't lie because I take on energies, and I feel like you can't lie either, because it's just like duty, like that I'm feeling from you, like, you've come to me for help, I'm going to give you my advice. And I feel like you'll give tough love, or you'll say something that maybe they didn't want to hear because they wanted you to enable it. And then I feel like people may sometimes project onto you, like, because that's not what they wanted to hear, you know what I mean? Or even if you did like tarot readings, you're someone that would like just say the truth and say it, and then people would be like, why would they let me know that? It's like, because you asked for the truth and I gave it to you. Like, you do feel like that, you know what I mean? There's no beating around the bush at all. Like, fact is a fact. That's how I feel about you guys, pal number 4. And you don't say it nastily. I'm being told you don't say it nastily, but it's like, you've come to me for a fact, I'm going to give you a fact. Like, you know, what else did you want from me? Like, so that's something that you have as well. But honestly, pal number 4, you have a very beautiful impact on people. I feel like you have, a lot of people have respect for you. I feel like you really do help people like filter and sort out their emotions and the chaos that goes on. And you're someone that's kind of a muse to people that want to kind of get their ish together. You are that person. So pal 4, that's what I had for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.